Okay. Well, just I quickly show you for loop with which you do the same thing again and again. It's very common for all the, it's essential for all the computer programmings you do. In C also you use for loop. In here also you use for loop. Suppose you write, say, x equal to, say, 1, you assign, and you add numbers, say, for example, for 10 times, for example. So for yesterday, Ananda was writing like these for, say, for example, you write some dummy index, say I in, and I have to have some iterables here, means some pieces. How many times I want to iterate the loop? I write, say, range of, say, 5. So that means, all right, I write, say, 1, 2, 5. So the number goes from 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have to give a colon. And then I enter. See, the cursor comes here. And also I want to tell you the protocol, PEP88 protocol, that it is indentation. That means moment I enter, the protocol is that if the indentation would be at the 5th column. It is not necessary. You can write just one cursor down here. That doesn't matter, 1, 2, 3, 4, anywhere you write, but not at the level of this first line. Okay, you could understand better if you write it in the file. So you see the cursor comes here. So aesthetically, this always will at the 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th column, it will come here. So as you heard that it's a compound sentence, that means a new interpreter symbol has not yet arrived. So I write, say x equal to x plus I. That means when it comes here, that means it will evaluate on the right side. So my x is now 1. My x is now 1. So it adds 1 with what is I. I is now takes from here is 1. Let it from 10 to something, say 15. That means that will be better to understand. So it will add 10 here. So the first will be x. So this is the value it calculates, and then you assign it with the same name, x. That means it will come in automatically. You don't have to write continue or give. You don't have to give any other instructions. This is the complete sentence. It means something is indented here. This part, this one line is indented here, means it will write inside this. That means it is under this line, under this for loop. This is a loop. That means you want to work here for how many times? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That many times it will iterate. I mean 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 5 times. 5 times it will iterate, but the values of I will be 10. Let's see. And if you write here print of, say, x, it will give also the values each time it will calculate, and it will give you the values. Okay, let's see. So this is you for the first timer, you have to enter twice to get back your this thing, interpreter symbol. I put enter once and then enter. You see, 1 plus 10 is 11. 11 plus again 11 is 22, and so on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So this is your for loop in short. So this way you can actually do lots of similar work, lots of same work repeatedly. So this is very common for any computer language. This you will use extensively again and again and again. Okay. So now I will not talk about any other important things of this language, any language. This is the logical structure. That means you want to take a decision that is very important for implementing an algorithm, that you write whether I will do this or do that. You going on the road, whether road goes left and right, whether you go to right or left, you have to take a decision, etc., etc. All these things will be talked about by AA tomorrow. And there is another kind of loop, while loop. You can combine this logical structure and this for loop. This will be called for loop. So this will be told you to tomorrow. And I will show you an example of this for loop. let's see what I can talk about. Now I talk about a very important thing, which is called random number. So random number is a fascinating thing. What is a random number? You see the numbers. If I tell the numbers randomly, means you talk till the number and the next number you don't know. There is no correlation. Means there's no connection between. There's no dependence on one number to another numbers. You can think that way. Like you throw a dice, Ludo Chokka, and then you don't know whether 1 will come or 2 will come, and these numbers are random. So I of course toss a coin, and these numbers, the head and tail, the 0 or 1, these are random numbers. So you can create lots of random numbers. But what is the use of it? You know, random numbers are not only fascinating, but it's very, very useful for your modeling purpose, your calculation, to understand nature, everything. Because nature, fundamentally nature is random in a sense. The atoms are vibrating inside randomly, the tiny atoms. If you have these things, say a resistor, if you try to measure the resistors because of heating, there will be noise coming. There are lots of noise from different. This is a heating noise. It will be coming, and the noise will be random. You don't have a control of it. So naturally you get really numbers which are really uncorrelated, which are random, and so you want to model a system, natural system, and you have to create some random numbers of various kinds. They have certain distributions. You can talk about distributions and so on, etc., etc. In physical space population, there can be something randomness about populations, etc., etc. But this will think of people who work in geography. They talk about distribution, normal distribution. We say that is Gaussian distribution. So there is a Gaussianly or normally distributed random numbers are there. So random numbers there are random numbers. That means as it's called. That means the probability of getting any number between any number to any number is something the same, etc., etc. If you do not know probability, doesn't matter. So these numbers, random numbers, are very useful. And also there is another kind of thing, another important area where random numbers will be useful, apart from basic science and understanding of nature. That is the place called cryptography. Now, random number is used in also cryptography. Okay, the secret code. You know. Okay, so passing of secret codes, and then all lots of things are there. Okay, so the random numbers. So that's very important. But in computer, you create random numbers, of course, not purely that they are not natural. You have to have some inside something, some algorithm. So that's why some kind of algorithm. You don't have to go into that. So that's why these random numbers are called pseudo-random numbers. But in a certain range of numbers, say you create 1 million or numbers or so, or for example, or even greater numbers. So numbers, you will find any relation between one to other. So we will call this uncorrelated numbers. So anyway, in your work, sometimes today or tomorrow or some days, you will use random numbers. And I will show some random numbers, and I will give one example combined with random number and this for loop, and that there I will stop. Okay, so the random numbers, you can see you have a module there in your basic Python. It is called random. You go to random, import random, then you see directly what is there in random number, in random module. You will see it's a bazaar of very many different kinds of random numbers. It's a kind of directory where you see all those different kinds of random numbers. And see rand range, the rand int. Of course, the name suggests that it will create some integer random numbers. Then Gauss suggests it's a Gaussian random number, and also the exponential, exponential random numbers, etc., etc. Then there will be some uniform random number. I think somewhere here, so this is a uniform random number. So like Ludo, these dice you throw, and the distribution of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You do it 1,000 million times, billion times, and you think of the frequency of the occurrences of those, which in the infinite limit is called the probability, and the probability for occurring each is the actually 1/6, 1 out of 6. Okay, but if you do it for 2 times, 3 times, 10 times, 100 times, it won't show you that 1/6. Like you toss a coin, it won't show you the probability, and the occurrence of head and tail is purely half. It will, for that you have to go for many trials. Okay, anyway, there's so lots of random numbers. I'll just talk about very little about that, and then of course I will talk about there are other functions. These are very important. Shuffle, I found this will be very useful for geography, and of course there is a seed of this. There is sample and sample. Sample is sampling. People do the sampling. It's good for that, etc., etc. So I import random number, and I try to use any random number. So I call random. Inside that there is also a random function is there. Where is that? There is a random number. R random. So I can think of so I can think of random dot random. So this is a function. I don't give anything. Okay, inside this argument. So I enter this. So this is some number. It creates between some it's less than 1. Of course, you can see what it is, and you type again. It will give another number. You type again. It will give another number. It will type again. Another number. So the numbers, they're coming randomly, and the one after another numbers are coming. They have no correlation. You can't see a relation between them. And how to use this random number? You can, of course, to see what is there, what is talking about. You can see help. Inside that you write random dot random, and then you write this. Oh, sorry. Of course it shows, but it's not good to. I mean, it's not necessary to write this. These things. Okay. So, but if you see right, let's see what it does. I think it will look better. Yeah, it looks better because it gives all the information about that class. Okay, anyway, so it shows that it's a random number which is an interval 0 to 1, and if you are from mathematics, you can understand it touches. It can touch 0, but the endpoint it doesn't touch. So the first bracket and third bracket. So anyway, so roughly you can talk about this number unless you tell something. I mean, it is by default, there is no other option. It is between 0 to 1. So there are very many different kinds of numbers. You can create hundreds of different numbers, 100 different kinds of random numbers. You can check, say, random dot rand int. You can rand int. Oh, rand int you have to give. Okay, so you can take help. You can write help, and you can give random dot rand int. You can check what is there. You have to give 2 arguments. Here it's showing that you have to give 2 arguments, A and B. That means the number should be between A and B, and the brackets are square brackets. That means it will touch both the ends, including both endpoints it is showing. So it is, you see, the writing about the manual is very crystal clear. You can understand this very rightly. So you write random dot rand int, and you want to create between a number between 1 to 10, right? So say 6. So you create, give 1, type 1, type 1, 8, type 1, another number. So it is doesn't you don't have to think of all those things. And but there is also a seed here for people who use random number. If you can give a random dot seed, a particular number, say random dot seed. If you remember the seed value, that means it will the algorithm, in the algorithm, background algorithm, it will start from the same place. That means if you write some number, say 3, 4, 5, and then you create this names thing, it will give 5. Of course, it will create do it again. It will give another number, but again you type this seed and this again it will 5. Again you type this and you type this, it will 5. So the seed is a initial value. If you give a seed, that means you begin from the same set of random numbers. Okay, so that way you can create a very many different kinds of random numbers. I'm not going into that thing. There is a rand range, there is a uniform, etc., etc. And but I will better touch upon some other interesting functions, which is a kind of choice and kind of and the sample. Let me talk about choice. So I can give you random dot choice. Suppose you have a set of numbers or entities or some strings or whatever. You put it inside the square bracket. That means you are thinking of a some list: 1, 2, 6, 5, something, 10, 11, -2, etc., etc. If you this is an argument, you can check the help of choice. So it will choose at least one value. If you give this, sometimes choose 1, sometimes it chooses 2. That means you have a set of numbers out of which it will choose something. So that is sometimes useful. So it will randomly choose something. Now there are there are shuffle. If you shuffle random, I'm just showing you the thing which you can sometimes you can use. Shuffle means let me it's with the same thing. You set time and you shuffle. SHUFFLE and you shuffle. So I have not given the name. Better I could otherwise it shuffles actually the lists. Better I I can write this as say suppose I create numbers say a range. So I create a range of numbers between 100 and I now put it random dot. If I write try to see what is x, it will show only x. But better I can show it as write it as x equal to list of x. That means now it will create a list of these numbers between 1 to actually 99, because 1 to 100 means it goes up to 99. Well, now I will shuffle this. Okay, that should show a demonstration. So if I write random dot SHUFFLE and I write x, it's returning nothing. That means it is actually shuffled the original list. So be careful when you do this. So now you see this is a shuffled list. You do it again, another shuffling. It's like I mean, shuffling is sometimes important. This way also you can create random numbers. You want certain numbers, specific numbers, but you want them to come randomly. Like in sometimes for exam we do. I mean, so students want to shuffle the numbers, serial numbers of students, in order to eliminate the specificity of the preference or anything. So this is shuffling, and then there is I talked about shuffling. I talked about choice, and then there is a sample. Suppose okay, and another thing is that I can get it back x with a built-in function called sorted. Sorting is a very important kind of algorithm function, whatever. I mean, sorting is a very important matter. So you have millions of billions of numbers, and you want to sort them. Means you want to order them in from ascending to low to high, or in an ascending order or descending order. So it is necessary for you sometimes, I mean, most of the time. So sorting is a very important kind of topic. So it's a very important topic for you, and if you are studying computer science and other things, because it's the algorithms are, there are lots of things to talk about the algorithms and etc. And here is the built-in function is sorted. If you write this sorted x, it is sorting. So sorted, it is ascending order. You can check this this function in built-in function sorted. If you want to order in descending, then here inside in the argument you have to write reverse equal to true. If you write this, it will write reverse equal to true. This Boolean expression. You can check what the help tells. So it is the descending order. So you can have a set of numbers. You can shuffle it. You can order it descending, ascending, whatever. So the machinery as it is at your hand. Now I get back I again do this, shuffle this for my purpose. So I again shuffle it. So it's a shuffling. Suppose you have a shuffled list of something. So this is probably you are in geography, you are having data collection from outside, collected data from the population, and you want to take a sample out of it to check, or in other science, you take a sample. You don't do your calculation of the entire population. This is suppose this is the entire population. This is the population, and you take a 10 samples out of it. So what you write is that is this, and say 10, just that, and you can have sorry, not sample. Sorry. You have to sample. You have to take a sample. It's say MPLE, then X and 10. Oh, so this is something. You can rename it to something. Suppose you take the piece out of it and you name say something. Why? So why is this? Okay. See, you see, you did it again. So that's why it's another sample. So you this way you take another sample. This way you take another sample randomly. You take another 10 sample of size 10. You can sample of size anything. Okay. So this is I'm nearing to my the end of my discussions. Just show you one small program. Okay. So let's see. Suppose you want to do work on a plane, so go out of home and you only walk, say for simplicity, walk along x-axis or along y-axis. You are on a grid, right, on a graph paper, see, and you go from one crossing to another crossing at least one step, and you can write the program. It is a very important, interesting program for studying the random. It is called random walk. It's like you are a drunkard. You don't know whether you will go right or left or up or down. So imagine this network on a graph paper. You either go up or down at one step, or go right or left. Each step one time step at each of the 4 directions. So basically, you will choose 4 of the out of the 4 directions. You choose one direction, right? So that way you move from one place. After some time, time elapses. One step is one minute time, and after certain time, you will see where you are. What is your network? I mean, how do you traversed? This is very important because there are lots of random motions, lots of studies in physics, chemistry, and biology, and all other kinds of things. You have heard about Brownian motion. You know the motion of a particle in the air is random. It works randomly. To study, you have to think of these models and so on. So suppose I write a program. Okay. So so basically, what I'll do is that I start from X and Y coordinate. Suppose you are on a grid, and this is graph paper. You talk of 0 and 0. Okay. So you begin from the 0, 0 coordinate. This means some coordinate system, where invisible coordinate system, where X and Y coordinate is 0, 0. And what I want to do is that beforehand, I want to write some, say, capital X and capital Y. This you do not have to understand at the moment. You have to just find the application of the random number. And that's why I'm showing. And this I write. Tomorrow, Ornabha Adhikari will tell you everything. This is basically an empty list. See, 2 square brackets, an empty list means you have you want to collect something. That means you have an empty bucket. There is nothing, no number is here. So that corresponds to capital X. Remember, this is capital X, some other name I give. You give any name. And the capital Y is also, the 2 buckets are empty. And the position coordinate is 0, 0. You start from there. And you now import, say, for give a random. You walk from either one step, you go right, left, forward, up, down, etc., etc. So how do you designate the coordinates? From 0, 0. So what are your coordinates? I'm sorry, I have no whiteboard. I can see whiteboard, but imagine that you, from 0, 0 position, if you go to right, imagine the map, imagine the graph. That means from right side means on X increases by 1, but Y is 0. That means it is 1, 0. If you go to left, the X position decreases by 1, that is -1, and the Y position 0. If you go up, that means it will be X position remains same, 0, 1, and you go down, it is say 0, -1. You can think of east, west, north, south also. So suppose for that I want to talk of and do that. So for I in see the for is a kind of for is a something command. So the color is orange. I is index, in is command, or you can say sometimes operator. So for I in range, I want to show it for 1000 steps. Okay, this is okay, and I want to write something, say d, some variable, and I want to now. Oh, I want to write. Suppose I can write it is this function. It is for I want to import. Suppose I could write it as in a file. So import random. So import random. I just import random. I did it. Okay. So for I in range, say 1000. Say these, and you write d equal to random dot choice. I'll have it. I will just have a choice whether it will go left, right, up, down. So choice are of 4 kinds. So I give inside this function, I give a list. So I give a list. So inside that I give 2 coordinates, say 0, 1, 0, 1. Don't stop, it will go somewhere. Say 1, 0. So I can give it 0, -1, if any order, doesn't matter. And I want to give -1, 0, right? These are the 4 directions. These are the 4, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, -1, 0, -1, and -1, 0. Okay. So east, west, north, south, so done. So I want to, every time this loop will rotate, this loop will run, and these inside that I write these, so it will choose any of the 4 elements. This. And so D will be it will pick up any of the these tuples, either this tuple or this tuple or this or this. Okay, done. So this is your D. Now this one step is basically one delta step, one step increase of X or Y, or increase or decrease of X and Y. So I can write, say, dx equal to X plus dx. So dx is actually sorry. I want to write actually dx equal to dx dy equal to d. That means d is a tuple. D is a tuple, and it will choose the first part will go to dx, and the second part will go to dy. Right? So it is d. Okay. So this. Now I want to write x equal to x plus dx. Sometimes you write in a fancy way, plus equal to dx. That means x equal to x plus dx. For the first time, I write explicitly x plus dx. And the y is updated by y plus dy. You don't have to take care of what is dx and dy. It will automatically either 1 or -1 or 0 or whatever. So this. Now x and y are updated every time in this inside the loop. Now what you do is that you have to collect these numbers, x and y. Otherwise, you cannot see how it is going, right? So better you collect this in these buckets, these empty list buckets. So what is this? There is a method called append. Tomorrow, Arunabha Adhikari will talk about this detail, but I just remember this name, append. Append means inside there was a empty, and whatever it was there doesn't matter. It is collecting one by one from the end. So it is, say, x. So small x will go to the capital X basket, and the capital Y basket it will go to the Y. That's it. And right, done. The program is done. So this is your 2D random walk. Now you want to see what happens. To see, you have to see the graph, otherwise you cannot see it, right? So these things are collected in capital X bucket and capital Y bucket. So I will use another package rather. This is external package, right? These are all modules. Random is a module. It's not a package. So what is the package? you will be formally introduced, but just listen that, just understand that package is nothing but a collection of modules and functions and etc. So it's a kind of special kind of directory which people have made for you, other third party. You can install. I'll show you at the end how you install any package on your Windows, like NumPy and SciPy. ADG will show you on day after tomorrow, and also or day after tomorrow, and you check and these packages. And one package for plotting is matplotlib, means mathematical plotting library. So I have installed this package here already. So I import that package, import matplotlib. And inside that, this is a not, I don't want to import everything, but I want to import out of this package one module I want to import. So the inside that, I know there is pyplot. There's one module is called pyplot. Pyplot is Python plot, which is specialized for two-dimensional plot, means on the screen, two-dimensional. Okay. So as in short name, write PLT. It will take initially, it will take time, a little time on this interpreter. So the basically what I'm doing is that I am actually importing this basically pyplot module from matplotlib, and this name is big, so I give it a short name, PLT. You can give any name, but this is standard. PLT is very standard. Okay, now I want to plot, and inside this PLT, I will show in my lecture on matplotlib, so I'm not going into details. Inside this PLT means pyplot. Inside there is a function called plot. So PLT, you have to give the extension, that is because a function means something with first bracket. So under PLT, there is a function called plot, and you just have to write x, y. Okay, right. And this, see, it shows the plot is done. This plot is done at this memory function, memory location. This is the hex code. You see this 0x. So this is a hex code. Earlier, some type numbers was showing some number code. Okay, just one moment. Somebody is coming, and just open the door. Okay. Sorry. So now you see plot PLT. See PLT. You have to see this. There is a show function. See plot. Why it is not showing? It is not showing. It will show. It will show. You see, it should show. It should show. It should show. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have.
Why are you?
No, capital. Yes. You have to capital S. Okay. So this is this, because bucket is my capital X. So this is this plot. See, random walk into dimension. You can actually make it bigger, and you see, see it looks impressive. So 10,000, right? Make it 10,000. Make it 10,000. So I just want to show you how easily it can be done. You can write it in a file, and this program is done in a moment. And you write this, you write this, and see, this is the 2D. And where from you begin, either here or here. Let's see where it began. Let's see where it began. Okay. So let's see how to see it. Okay. So I click it, and I'll plot another thing, another with it. So PLT dot plot. I want to say write 0, 0. That means it will show my 0, 0. Okay. And okay, again I plot it because it actually removes 0, 0, and then show. Say it is. It is. Oh, I have to show it with a bullet, some symbol. I have to give it a symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to give
one point in the middle of all that.
I have to give it a symbol. Otherwise, don't. It won't show me. It won't show me. I mean the point. Otherwise, okay. And here it began. So it began from here. It's all the way down here. Let's see the endpoint also. It's a fun. If you permit me, if you write this, and you write this, and also you write last XY values, right? So this here is small x, small y are updated, and it comes out of the loop, so it will keep the last XY value. Okay. So I write also small x, small y. Later we'll show that how we can change the colors, etc., etc. in my Matplotlib talk. And you see, it started here all the way round. This all connected. This is connected. These clusters is go here and ends here. It's amazing. This ends here. So, but the end-to-end, what we are physicists are always interested about the end-to-end distance. Sometimes, how far you are from home. You have traversed some shopping mall through these, that, other shops, etc., and finally you arrived here. So this is your two-dimensional random walk, and this is very, very essential, and it's a part of the study of physics and chemistry and biology and things like that. So I may now end here, and if you are now telling me to how to install the packages, I can show you in 1-2 minutes. Can I show the installing of packages in Windows?
I think you should, because many people are asking that. But
okay, I should.
Maybe it may take time. So anyway,
no, I can tell you. I just tell you, if you go to here, it is start. People who want to package, because for Anando, for your talk, people need to install packages.
Please show.
Okay.
Show.
Okay. 2 minutes. I know it's. You write CMD. People working on basic Python and on Windows, you write CMD. CMD is command prompt. It will show this command prompt will come. You just click it. The black window will come, right? The black window will come. So Python you have installed, and you have to know where it is, right? It will. Where is? It will. You have to know where it is. It is not. It is showing the C:, users and the user's name, right? So you first get to know where it is, the Python. One way is that you see here, from here. Let's see, open the idle, go to file, try to open something, and it will show you this username, app data, local, programs, Python 3.8. Okay, this is the entire path name. So remember this, or keep it here. Okay. So remember, app data, local programs. Okay, app data, local programs, Python 38. Okay, I will remove. So here, use this DOS command, cd / app data dot local, or if you forget, go one by one. Then programs. Everything is a directory under directory, etc. Programs. Oh, let's see, cd. I must have done something wrong. App data. Then you go to cd. Cd is change directory. Okay, every time you can do piece by piece also. Local. Then go to local. Then see directory. What is there? There is a program. There is a programs here. Programs. So cd prog. I must have done something wrong. Programs. And you see there is Python. There is Python. So basically, if you install Python 2, then it is easy, because Python 2 is the old version, and see Python 2 it creates automatically under C:, P Python 27 directory. But for Python 3 and the latest version, it goes here directly. I mean, I don't know. I can change the path later. Okay,
so you can change the path during installation.
Yeah. You can change it. You can do. But for the uninitiated, I think the easiest way is to let it install wherever and check where it is. And see, it is go to Python. Go to Python one by one.
Perhaps PEEP as such works, and even if you don't go to the proper directory, PEEP can work.
No. Sometimes it doesn't work, because if your path is not set.
If your path is not set, path should be set.
But I'm telling it, for the beginners, they don't have to. They will not know how to say it, etc. So better thing is that Bangla method. You go to the Bangla method, and you just go to the directory. And see inside there is another Python 38 directory. So here it is. Python 38 means 3.8. So again cd. You remember one mantra, cd means change directory. So go to cd. So Python, capital or small, I think doesn't matter. Capital, small.
Python for Windows it should matter.
And also there is a subdirectory. You'll see there will be lots of subdirectory inside the Python. It is installed. Basically, if you are not set path, it's better to go here scripts, SCRIPTS. You go to CD SCRIPTS. You don't have to remember these things, but the basic thing is that you go to idle, try to open and check the path, and just blindly go one by one.
This
Unless
is why
you
I
set
said Linux is way easier.
Uh-uh.
Linux is way easier. Anyway.
Liz. So here also you can set Python path, so that is something. But I'm saying it. You just have to do something manual method for the first time, once and for all. But it is brute force method. This is straightforward. People don't have to remember anything. You just check from idle, open the idle, go to open, go to file, open, and check the path. Where is this is the path. All the files are automatically being saved there. So so go to scripts. You see there are the executable file pip3 or pip or pip3. Okay. So you write pip, then mantra is install, and then if you write if you write this pip install, and suppose the package Anand will show is that numpy, so you write numpy. I will do it because it is already down here. That's it. You have to have your net on. You pip install, the mantra is pip install numpy, pip install scipy, pip install matplotlib, pip install pandas, whatever you want to install. That's it. Unless you use Anaconda, etc., later I can show you. We'll work on Anaconda also. Anaconda, you don't have to do anything, it's there. So if you do that, it will automatically, it takes 2-3 minutes. The numpy will be sitting here from net. Click it out, come back to idle. That's it. Now you import numpy. Numpy is, if it is installed, numpy is there. You import numpy. Normally you do numpy as a short name np and so on. You begin to work. So that's it. My presentation is over, I think. I mean, it took a lot of time. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So we have done all these things for today. And good news is that tomorrow is holiday. So we will be back on Monday. And let us give a big hand to the speakers for this wonderful talk. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Dasgupta. And
thank you.
Let us come back on Monday.
Okay. We can give some assignment also.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. How do I go back? And I go to and stop. So now I stop sharing, right? Okay.
Okay.
Stop sharing. Okay.
I'm coming now, but I'm going to deny him entry. Very fair. I'm going to deny entry to somebody who's trying to come in now. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Anyway, let's admit him because next time around. Okay, thanks.
So tomorrow is no class, convener? Tomorrow is no class, right? So okay, we leave. Good.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I leave.
Bye.
Bye.